r/AskReddit, cancelled on a cliffhanger, what shows left you hanging hard? Mindhunter. The Netflix 3-season curse that hit both Glow and Santa Clarita Diet. My name is Earl. Firefly. Freaks and Geeks. Mindhunter. I want to see the BTK story play out. Dead Like Me. Pushing Daisies. Last Man on Earth. The OA. Reboot, the 1994 CGI animated series. No, it didn't leave me traumatized by unresolved cliffhangers 22 years later, why do you ask? Jericho. 1899 is such a silly show to only have one season of. It's basically just a series of progressively weirder and more mysterious things happening. The few answers you do get mostly only raise more questions. I wish I could see where the show creators were going with that one. The Sarah Connor Chronicles. Still not over it? Terra Nova. Severance S1 ended after a huge build-up. The last episode was one of the best episodes of TV produced this decade. If the show doesn't come back because of scheduling or whatever because of the strike, a little bit of me will die inside. I've said it before, Game of Thrones. Too many storylines just poof and they are gone. Then the main one goes completely into left field. So disappointing still. An old one, but Carnivale. Inside Job. Fuck Netflix. The Following with Kevin Bacon. Fucking excellent show and it just ended after season 3. Honestly, may call out of work tomorrow now this is on my mind again. It's a tie between these. The 4400, 2004. Everybody Hates Chris. Jericho. Colony. Dark Matter. I like a campy space adventure series. It's like comfort food. Ash vs Evil Dead. Heroes. Got and they screwed up everything. Absolute shit show, stupid, rotten, horrific, nonsensical, lazy writing, and horrible. Reaper. I need more of Ray Wise's portrayal of the devil. Stargate Universe. Deadwood. The movie that followed just didn't do it for me, Uneasy Face. Flash Forward. For the older sci-fi nerds. Space, Above and Beyond. Raised by Wolves, it was a sci-fi show by Ridley Scott on HBO. It was very weird. At one point a robot gets impregnated by an eldritch abomination using a computer virus and gives birth to a flying snake monster, but it seemed like it was finally getting to the point where everything was starting to come together. And then it got cancelled. I don't know how you could even watch it now, since Max took it off their library, and I'm still bummed. I am not okay with this. Every Netflix exclusive ever. Especially Cowboy Bebop. I cancelled Netflix for cancelling that one. The Black Donnellys. Hannibal, not so much a cliffhanger but I was dying for it to get to Silence of the Lambs. Mindhunter and Santa Clarita Diet. Alphas. Classic answer is Firefly. The movie did it justice but it's not quite the same as if it had more time to flesh it all out properly. Almost Human. Alf. Santa Clarita Diet and, recently, How I Met Your Father. Not an incredible show, but I was coming around to it right as they cancelled. Agent Carter. The Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance. It was the most incredible work from the Henson Studios I have seen in potentially decades. They poured love and money and time into it, and had an amazing collection of creatives, puppeteers, and voice actors. They spent the major cash up front on things like the Skeksis puppets and sets, so I have honestly no idea they didn't give it a second season. Kyle XY. Metallicalypse. Better Off Ted. Game of Thrones. I really wish they would have made a season 7. There was so much potential and they just left it hanging. Covered Affairs. Breakout Kings. Norseman. Also Santa Clarita Diet. The Glades. Who Shot Detective Longwood? My So-Called Life. Carnivale was such a bummer. John Doe starring Dominic Purcell left on the biggest cliffhanger. Stupid Fox executives. 4400. Marco Polo. Grr. Space, Above and Beyond. Such a great show for that era. Stargate Atlantis, and I'm still very bitter about it. Project Blue Book. Frisky Dingo. Yet we have to watch 47 more seasons of Family Guy. The Dome. Everything Sucks. Also Gary Unmarried. Teenage Bounty Hunters. Game of Thrones. I can't believe they just stopped after 6 seasons. Stargate Universe. Not only does it end on a cliffhanger, it ended as the show started actually being decent. Siberia. It was a terrible show, and was never going to come back, but instead of closing any of the plots, they opened up like 5 new ones in the finale. Killing Eve. Santa Clarita Diet. The Society. Forever, 2014. Henry might have finally revealed his secret to Jo, but the final episode cut off just as he was about to tell her something. So frustrating. Some of the newer shows like Lockwood & Co. and The Peripheral. It's not exactly gonna haunt me for the rest of my life, but I was truly expecting to get some closure with these two, or at the very least a second season. And I agree that Santa Clarita Diet was also something that needed more time. Carnival. Had they ended the show 5 minutes earlier it was all tied up, but they didn't, and then it was cancelled for the series Rome. Legends of Tomorrow. Good Girls. I can't exactly remember what happened, but I remember still having loads of questions, then finding out that there wasn't going to be another season. Red Band Society. Frontier. Everything Sucks. Lodge 49. 1899. Last Man on Earth. Angel. The original 4400. The Royals. The Glades. Caprica. Duckman. Chasing Life. I typically don't watch shows until they're out and done for a while, so I can't really think of any. All the ones I watched as they came out had closure. I guess maybe Punisher? That wasn't really a cliffhanger per se cause they tied everything up, but I was really bummed he finally turned into the comic Punisher again when Netflix cancelled all the Marvel stuff. Threshold. Hunter x Hunter. Everybody Hates Chris. Messiah. Black Donnellys. Alf. I guess they made a movie to resolve it, but we were blown away back then that it ended on a total cliffhanger. I stumbled onto a British show from 2008 called Survivors on Netflix several years back. It was a remake of an older show. Post-apocalyptic show about the world being wiped out by a virus and the survivors that are trying to survive and rebuild. I really liked it. The second season ended in a cliffhanger, and that was that. That pissed me off. The Nevers. I knew that it wouldn't end well, what with Joss being a dick and all. But holy shit. I don't think I'll ever get over that. The Nick. Alf. Whole show is keep him from the government because they'll open him up and kill him. Then the government gets him. End of show. Woof. Nobody remembers my wife and kids. Michael fakes a vasectomy and Jay comes out of the doctor's office saying she's pregnant. I mean, the show had run its course, but man, what a strange point to call it quits, lol. Kyle XY. Inside Job was an adult animated show and it was the closest we will ever get to an SCP show. Heroes Reborn. Las Vegas. Ended with multiple cliffhangers. I still wish they would at least make a TV movie to wrap things up. Brimstone. Strange Luck. Werewolf. The Pretender. Wolf Lake. Spawn, the animated series. Jericho. Chuck. Fox had a few from the early/mid 2000s. True Calling, started in 2003 and ended in the middle of season 2. It's a show about a recent college graduate named True Davies, played by Eliza Dushku, who worked at a New York City morgue, along with Davis, played by Zach Galifianakis, but started hearing voices from corpses asking her to help or save them. Once that happened, she'd relieve the day and try to save people's lives. Reunion, started in 2005, and ended in the middle of season 1. A show about a group of friends from high school, where one of them was murdered years later. The way it was done, the high school graduation took place in 1985 and each episode was a year ahead, interspersed with moments in the present day, 2005, and how much their lives changed, with scandals and secrets. Arrested Development got a 3rd season, but the conclusion was lackluster, especially for such a great show. Same goes for Pushing Daisies, on ABC, which was pretty much cancelled. Ryan Murphy's Popular, which aired on the WB in 2000 to 2001. Santa Clarita Diet. The Glades. Raised by Wolves. Wolverine and the X-Men. Santa Clarita Diet, that show went so fucking hard. Drew Barrymore cannibalizing Nazis and misogynists was everything I didn't know I needed. Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda, this show was shaping up to be the Babylon 5-sized replacement in my heart when Kevin Sorbo went full Shatner on set during season 2, had the showrunner, Robert Hewitt Wolfe, fired, and leveraged his star power coming off the set of Hercules to force creative changes that took this intelligent, unique, and thoughtful science fiction property and turn it into a garlic-garnished tire fire whose reruns only air in the most depressing corners of Eastern Europe. Imagining what could have been haunts me. Pirates of Dark Water, so many millennials were traumatized by the cancellation of this show. Sense8, knowing what I know now, Netflix can eat all my shit and hair for canceling this show. Supernatural, I know it's been 15 years, but a rusty nail isn't enough to make me let go. How I Met Your Father. Salvation. Southland. Thundercats 2011. Got cancelled after an awesome season finale. Lethal Weapons show got fucked from the main character being a shitty human IRL, so Sean William Scott came on in his first big serious role and it just killed the whole premise. Plus the original character was literally the best Riggs I've ever seen. My wife and I teared up when he died. Invasion, with Eddie Cibrian. Archive 81. Hulu did a show called Reprisal. One of the strongest first seasons I have seen in years. Really creative universe where some things that you know exist and others don't. Just a solid first season that ended with all of the opposing forces on a collision course. Then they just didn't make a season 2. I will never get over Mindhunter or Glow. The Event. The final shot was the event and a whole as planet, essentially showing up less than moon distance away, and the first lady or second lady revealing she was an alien and involved. Stargate Universe. MGM is apparently really shitty with their IPs. The Idol. I know this show got tons of hate, but I was getting into it at the end and I wanted to see more. Better Off Ted. 1. Fuck you Netflix. Happy endings. Yes, it was kind of corny and kitschy, but it was like eating a nice bowl of soup. It just made me happy. Archive 81 got one season, got left on a cliffhanger and was cancelled by Buttflix. Y'all, who remembers Kyle XY? English dub Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and 5DS. Damien. It got one season before cancellation and was a sequel TV series based off the classic horror movie The Omen. Really underrated TV show that should have kept going, and yet Lucifer is considered cinematic gold. Mindhunter. I want more. Theirs was also this show about this dude that was apparently the Messiah, then it got cancelled after ending on this wild fucking cliffhanger. Fuck Netflix, man. Firefly. Wish Inside Job had another chance. Mindhunter. I hate you Netflix. In the Dark, Good Girls. Mindhunter. Rome. Firefly. Santa Clarita Diet. Firefly. Glades. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you have enjoyed this video and subscribe to never miss an upload.